Hi everybody, my name is Mike. I'm one of the co-founders of Krampus of Indianapolis. That's me on the left. I built my Krampus suit over the course of 5 or 6 years, starting in 2015. There have been a lot of changes to it, and I had to do a lot of searching to find the right materials. Even then, I spent a lot of time teaching myself how to actually put it all together. So here's a closer look at my gear. Hopefully it can help anyone who's looking to put together their own Krampus suit. The mask was one of the first things I made. It's 2 layers of Warbla and epoxy putty that I molded over a styrofoam head. Warbla is a thermoplastic that can be shaped when heated. When it cools, it becomes fairly rigid. You can sculpt it, sand it, and paint it. The same goes for the epoxy putty. I use a large elastic band to keep the mask in place. It's not really necessary since the flexible nature of the Warbla allowed me to make the mask nice and snug. The drape is goat skin that I glued to the mask with E6000 contact cement. The rest of the hair came from scraps that I glued onto the top and sides of the head. The horns are real and come from a kind of antelope called the Blessbok. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. They're screwed into the mask and held in place with epoxy putty around the base of each horn. I knew I needed to be dressed in animal hides, so I picked up a large cowhide rug from Tandy Leather for about maybe $150. The rug was about 6 by 8 feet, so there was plenty of material. And the first thing I made was a pair of pants. I used a loungewear pattern and sized them up so I could wear the pants over street clothes. The suspenders came from Duluth Trading Company. I reinforced the button studs with vinyl so the studs didn't tear through the hide. With the rest of my cowhide, I made a simple tunic. The back has some imperfections, but I think that just adds character to the Krampus suit. This is my pride and joy, my goatskin half jacket. I threw caution to the wind and bought a Turkish goatskin from an eBay seller. I was originally going to make a mantle, but then they sent me an extra skin free of charge. That gave me enough material to make a serviceable jacket. I was able to make 2 full sleeves from one skin. From the other skin, I made a back piece. For the front, I pieced together a small right flap, and the remainder of skin formed a larger front flap that crosses over the chest. 3 hook and eye closures at the shoulder, chest, and side keep the jacket buttoned up. I sewed everything together using a blanket stitch with heavy wax thread. It's held up pretty well over the years. Everything was done by hand. My boots are probably the most complicated part of my suit. They're a pair of inexpensive rubber safety boots, covered in cowhide and scraps of goat skin. Leather cuffs and straps are riveted and screwed directly into the boot. The toe caps are made from Warbler and painted with a combination of spray paint, acrylic paint, and rub and buff. They tend to crack after a season of use, so I'll be replacing the Warbler caps with aluminum ones I bought from Austria. The whole process for making these boots is linked down in the description. My harness was made for me by a friend, but it's not too complicated. The waistband is 4 inches wide and it has 4 D-rings attached to the suspender straps. I rusted the chain using a mixture of vinegar, salt, and hydrogen peroxide, and the bells I picked up on eBay. I don't always carry a basket, so to accessorize for tight spaces, I made a switch quiver. This is a steer horn that I picked up from Crazy Crow Trading Post. All I needed to do was sand it a little bit and seal it with beeswax. I wanted the strap to be as functional as possible, but I ended up screwing it directly into the horn to keep it in place. The switches are just cinnamon brooms that I buy from Trader Joe's or other grocery stores. They're usually available around November. My basket is a trapper basket. I forget where I got it from, but I've had it for well over 10 years. It originally came unfinished, so I stained it to match the colors of my original Krampus suit, black and red. It's large enough to hold a small child, but more importantly, I can use it to carry all of my gear when I'm on the go. And that's my gear so far. It's an ongoing process because there are always changes to make and different things to try. The variety of Krampus suits from Austria is endless, and I want to take everything that looks cool and make it my own. I hope you've enjoyed this look at my gear. Krampus of Indianapolis is a small but dedicated group in the heart of Indiana. You can keep up with us on the usual social platforms, as well as through our website, indiekrampus.com. If you have any questions, please feel free to leave them in the comments below, or just reach out to us through our website. Thanks for watching.